Hey, good afternoon or whatever time of day it is for you. This is the Wednesday, April 3rd, 2019 project meeting for the Bugzilla Project. I'm Dave Miller, the project leader. I've got with me Dylan Hardison, and he's a assistant. And then we've got a couple other people in with us, including Kohei, who's kind of our star for today.
Our UX designer and other stuff. All right. So we have a couple of things. I even have something, Dave, that I didn't tell you that I was bringing, but I brought something.
Oh, cool.
Sort of. So the last meeting that I attended, which was not the last meeting, I said I would work to getting the Harmony code running on like a regular system. And I haven't updated the Harmony branch yet, but I do have, if you go to, and I'll keep this up for like the next couple of hours, I use it for testing things, but Bugzilla.ninja is an independent, totally different than BMO instance of the code that's running BMO. It doesn't have any similar data in it, but it does have all the same extensions, and it's running behind Cloudflare, and it's running on an Ubuntu 1804, 1810 machine. So it's running on an environment that's about as different as BMO as I can reasonably do. So, and I didn't do any special steps. It's the current master branch running there. The only thing I did is I ran cpan-m to install the dependencies, and then ran the Bugzilla.pl daemon, which is how you run it since it's switched to Modulicious. So if you browse there, hopefully it's still working. But yeah, same code. It may be like 1 or 2 revisions behind because I didn't do a git pull this morning, but yes, as of yesterday it was. It doesn't send email currently, but that's the next thing I'm going to fix. And then I intend on just leaving it up as sort of a replacement for landfill. And also as a proving ground to make sure that Bugzilla runs on people's and on other environments other than the BMO one. Like so that, what I plan on doing at the end of this meeting is doing a git pull to the Harmony branch with this code, which will unfortunately re-enable some of the things we had tried backing out of there because we've drifted again. So we still have a lot of release blockers to do. But the code does work on other environments. So that's what I got.
Okay. Cool. And then one thing I was going to mention before Kohei gets started with his, we did have a tracking bug for the Bugzilla 6 release because people keep asking about it. So URL's on the screen there. Just remember the bug alias is Bugzilla-6. That's the easy way to find it. Last I heard, we're hoping to have maybe by August, but no guarantees yet. There's a lot of loose ends to tie up yet. We're figuring it's going to take that long to clean them up. And then, go ahead.
Yep. So here are a couple things I can show you right now. What is that? Sharing. Yes. Here we go. So this is the latest one. This feature here, we have shipped bug type field yesterday on BMO. That's the very latest one. You can see the enhancement level here, and in other bugs like for example this one defect is red one, and there's another one task is blue one. Yeah, so it's easy to find that, yeah, what kind of bug is this. And we also have a new field called regressions and regressed by fields. You can see here. It's empty right now, but the previous people are using depends on and blocks field for regressions, but people complain that it's difficult to feature very regressions. So we added 2 new fields. It's a little bit messy right now. User interface is messy right now, but it's should be convenient. And It's nice.
So about the enhancements, enhancement used to be a bug severity, but we had someone that did a study, I think, that said that the severity, conflating the severity and the whether something's an enhancement was a mistake, and so we've kind of addressed that now, right? Like,
yeah, we removed the enhancement from severity field and moved to the type field. Defect enhancement. There's 3 types. Yeah. I think it makes sense.
I'll also
Yes.
note for anyone looking at the video that you had zoomed in, which is why some elements were like shooting off of the box model stuff. I would just point out that that's just because of the zooming and not like that's not how it normally looks when you're just using it for the regression field and blocks and all that.
Yeah. And what else? I want to see this one bookmark. Like we also shipped the inline images recent actually yesterday here. So like this, you can see the screenshots and snippet of like our text attachments and videos as well. And yeah, it's a nice one. And you can also see this video is not available, but like one like this, you can see the syntax highlighting as well in the code, thanks to their Markdown support and what the not Stripe, what's it?
Prism.js is what we're using for that.
Prism, Prism plugin is pretty nice. And what else?
I prepared for this topic before the meeting. I did this is not statistically rigorous, but on average, people are using code highlighting about like 3 out of every 5 comments. I'm seeing the backtick, and then the programming language of choice. I actually mean to revisit that and add in the highlights for people that are using for languages we don't support, because there's a handful of things people are using that we don't actually have highlighting for. So get to add to the list. It's I would say that adoption of that feature is very high at the moment.
Yeah, so whatever. So those are the latest ones, and a bit ago, like we shipped the comment editing. So you'll see the pencil icon here, and actually that feature was already built in the 5.0. Yeah, we shipped that with I guess 5.0, but no one could use it because that's only for admins. But now we are allowing on BMO we are allowing all the edit bugs users to edit their own comments. So click on the pencil icon, you'll see the editor here, and just something. There you go.
And that's if you did a study of what feature does Dylan use most often, it would probably be editing comments. And my own, that is, because I tend to write something out and then have mistakes in it. Sometimes the mistakes are fairly bad, like I'll do HTTP / and not have a colon. So I use that all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to use. What else? And maybe that.
It's the first time we've really had demos in a while, so anything you've done in the last few months is probably fair game.
So
drag and drop file upload, yeah.
Yeah, drag and drop. You can, this is already on BMO. You can drag and drop file, and also you can take a screenshot. It's like a little bit scary maybe, but depends on what you are showing. But yeah, you can take a screenshot now. And drag and drop. And what's coming? And that one show. This one's also new in Bugzilla 6. Most used components on the new bug page. So you can easily click on the recently used component and find a new bug. See? And oh yeah, here you go. Type field is displayed on this new bug page as well. So you can see defects, the type enhancement task. This page needs an overhaul, but yeah, it's a small enhancement here.
So part of the reason I could, if you wanted to, I could speak a little bit about why that page is the way it is. I've just been recently thinking about it. Okay, just I'll be brief. Most of there's a little bit of layout that's applied to that, but I think that the original goal when that was designed, maybe design is not the grown, might be a better word, is that it kind of is drawn by the data of all the fields that are on a bug, and it kind of it's trying to do as little work as possible when putting them there. So it's like there's not a lot of intentionality to where those fields show up. So pretty much anything that we do to that in the future will be an improvement. Yeah, it's sort of just an automatic algorithmic layout of the fields without any consideration to their use. The ordering is considered a little bit, but like a lot of that is just automatic. Yeah, and I think it shows. It's like a mess of here's a bunch of fields.
Yeah, so yeah, we have a bunch of fields, and yeah, we're gonna organize the fields on the bug page. Yeah, it's kind of totally mess right now. Yeah, so I think there's a what is the nitrate here? Nitrate. I think this one is the organized bug page with the triage tracking people and references with the links, cells, and attachments. Yeah, this.
Well, do you have a screenshot of what that would look like? That might make.
Yeah, I posted a screenshot already on I think GitHub here. I think. Yeah.
Can we show it on the feed? Can you open it?
Yeah, I can share. Yeah, like this. The product. So this one is organized better. Yes. What else? And so that some upcoming changes to their Bugzilla. I think Bugzilla 6 here. This one. This is very sneak peek, but and I experimented what's the dark mode and 2-column layout last week. This is very rough draft, and yeah, just edited with the 5-step tools. But yeah, people want 2-column layout these days because Mac OS and Windows both have not dark mode and all the like Facebook Messenger or whatever also have dark mode. So people want dark mode. So I'm implementing that in I guess in 1 month in BMO and it's coming to Bugzilla 6 as well. Yeah. So it's dark mode, but there will be light mode as well. But yeah, so it should be better than current upstream series is dusk. It's really old skin, so we're gonna get a new skin in Bugzilla 6. Yeah. To be like a great one. Yes.
So that's very experimental, so like not necessarily like a right away.
Still not implemented. Yeah, still have to clean up.
Looks nice though. I would be happy to not have to deal with the brown color of the current theme at some point because it's Well, actually, it's the same color as the wall, or similar color to the wall behind me. I guess maybe it's a little bit more coffee, but
Yeah.
it's
So this one is, this one's called, using BMO is called Samskin. Yeah, but
Yep.
but Mozilla's using this color coding, but not using this anymore. So we need a reskin anyway.
Yep.
Mm.
Cool. Right. So do we want to? Do you have more things to show us, or would you like us to discuss some of the features?
Yeah, there are more exciting things are coming, but I think that's pretty much everything that I can show right now.
Well, I guess I can talk about some. There's one kind of interesting backend thing. I'm actually thinking of talking more about it because I think the algorithm is interesting. But so we have the blocks and depends field, and now we have the regressions and regressed by fields. We also have structured differently, but kind of similar. We have the way the duplicates work, so that you have a bug that's a duplicate of another. The bug can only be a duplicate of one other bug, but it can be produce multiple duplicates. Anyway, so there's all three of these things are like tree structures. A very common utility of Bugzilla is the show dependency tree.cgi page, which is very inefficient, and it's popular, but it's very inefficient, and it only handles the dependency information. It doesn't handle the new regressions fields, and that's never handled the duplicates either. So someone asked for a tree API, like an API that returns the same stuff that the show dependency tree does. And at first I was like, no, we can't do that. Also, that's really inefficient. I don't want to expose it as an API. But right as I was saying, I don't want to expose it as an API, I came up with a better way of doing it. I won't bore this meeting with the technical details, mostly because I want to write about that later because I think it's kind of neat. But anyway, we have a several order of magnitude faster algorithm for generating those trees. There is a limitation that it has to be a specific depth, so you can pick a depth of, say, 12, so it'll go down 12 bugs. And it returns that in a couple of different formats, and then hopefully when I release this, one of the formats will just show up as using D3.js as a force-directed graph, because I can output a force-directed graph from this data. What I realized when doing this is that I can actually completely deprecate the show dependency tree page using this new API once it's finished. There's a bug in it that the reviewer found reviewing it, but assuming I fix the bug and get it out, that will be very interesting, because we have, and I'm sure other older installs probably have deep dependency trees as well. And currently, I think that I'm not sure what the level is. There is a point with the current show dependency tree.cgi where it doesn't work. It's not really based on the depth of the tree, it's based on the width of the tree. And I don't know what that point is. It probably depends on your hardware, but with this one, it'll probably breathe new life into older reports. Sorry. Anyway, I'm very excited about that. I'm moderately excited about that because it's a cool API. And tree structured information is what people really like to use, apparently, for Bugzilla. I broke show dependency tree.cgi a while ago, and it just stopped. I got a lot of complaints immediately, so I'm going to face me now and cough briefly. Anyway, that's the only decently neat API that I've been able to have recently. But I think that's cool. Not nearly as showy and interesting as all the work being done. I'd like to point out that Kohei has produced something like 50 patches in the last 30 days or something like that. Maybe it's not quite that many. I could look at the GitHub stats. Anyone can go look at the GitHub stats right now, but Kohei's really been doing a lot of work. There's a lot of stuff in flight.
Yeah.
There's a seemingly never-ending list of patches to review. Me and some of my coworkers are actually splitting our time up to review those. That's between 3 people. So I just want to highlight how much work Kohei's doing. So there you go. Thank you for all of that work. Really appreciate it. It's actually, since I use Bugzilla for the day-to-day doing this stuff for work as well. Like the usability things are it's kind of a cycle, like where it feeds in because I'm using it itself to develop it itself. So very interesting. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Dave, do you have any questions? Or actually, Dave, I actually have a question for you, Dave. If I if I wrote down, updated the README for installation instructions on like Ubuntu 18.10, could I ask you to, before the next thing, try to get a Bugzilla running on like random VM and just maybe give me a pass or fail? Like I was able to get this running, I wasn't. I think that might be another
Sure.
step. Okay. There we go. I like that. I like having at least some kind of thing I can work towards for the next meeting that seems reasonable, and that's like, I can do that.
Okay.
All right. What else? Are we done? I think that was the only thing on the agenda, show and tell. And
Yeah, you
not
had a
really
little
model.
note up on the screen earlier, Kohei, with a list of the stuff you were going to show off, and then there was some upcoming stuff at the bottom in addition to what was already on BMO. Was any of that stuff interesting?
Sorry, you.
You had a list of stuff up on the screen at one point that
Yeah. So
had the new stuff that was on BMO, and then there was some upcoming stuff too.
Yeah, I showed not everything, but like there are some other things are like advanced search page overhaul and better quick search. There you drop down list to see the recently used bugs and components, whatever. Yeah, these are still in review and development. So maybe next time I'm gonna show you.
Okay. I remember seeing a cool thing on Twitter about the automatically adding or moving open or closed bugs from the filter on the search results too.
Yeah, there will be open close filter because like people complain that it's you see like 0 bugs found on such results, but there will be there could be like closed bugs in the same query, so you can it's difficult to find those closed bugs. So other open, close, and all tabs on the search result page for better discovery.
Cool.
So many enhancements coming.
Yeah. One other thing, so the biggest release blockers have been continuing to be the biggest release blockers, but we at least are acknowledging them with that tracking bug now. I think that the first thing that I could try making a stab at that would be useful is we only have a single alias field, but we need to be able to migrate from Bugzilla installs to have the multiple aliases set. So I think that writing that that would be in the Bugzilla install DB script, just checking if it sets in the multiple one and then migrating the schema if it is. I think that might be the first thing that's tackling. There we go. There's a list. There's a tree, by the way. That tree is very expensive to generate, by the way.
Here we have, we need our C also field like should accept this is wrong.
And C also field should accept any URL. That's something I'm going to do. That's actually BMO needs that too, so that's going to get done. The thing that's hard for me to find time to do is I don't like working all the time. Like I like goofing off and playing games and it's not working. And so the things that BMO needs almost always get done reasonably. But things that BMO doesn't need, like migrating from multiple aliases, tend to not get done. So I'm going to try to do that as the first step. But it's difficult to prioritize personally the things that BMO doesn't need that I need for a release, which is just
I think the reason the C also field was restricting the URL types that it would accept was because it was originally envisioned to try to pull those servers and show the status on that other server at some point. And then that never got implemented.
Yeah, and we could still do that. So like you could do it where it's any URL, but you actually query the URL and it has, like, I think at the time that was created, there wasn't the metadata stuff that exists, kind of like blogs you can use and so on. So it could be any URL and you could query it. And if there's a a good example of this is when you paste a link to something on, say, Twitter or Facebook or a number of other things, Slack. It does a preview of what the content is because it makes a request, and in that request there's information that it uses for generating preview. You could do, maybe if you can't expect the services to generate, I'm a bug tracker, here's some bug tracker metadata, but you could probably like look for some patterns, like is this a GitHub issue or is this a Jira issue? And it's dynamically, if it's in one of those URL types, not in one of those URL types, if the URL happens to return content that you understand, you pull that information out. So we can still do that. I just think not by unrestricting it, it makes it more clear. We're also, the URL field will be going away as a result of this, like the URL field merges with the C also. So in some ways it's conceptually simpler. You just have a list of URLs that are associated with the bug. And some of those might be issue tracking things, and some of them
Makes more sense to have more than one anyway.
Yep.
And you can put URLs get linked in comments now too, so.
Yep. All right, anyway, so that's what we're doing. And I really do not want to apologize because it's an intentional decision I've made to like not burn out. If when there are features that benefit both VMO and upstream, I tend to get them done. But I'll try to set aside at least a little time for the ones that don't have any impact. Like multiple aliases, also the email sending code is different. I was going to write up a document on how a manual to do that, but I didn't get around to it. And yeah, it's messy. The reason I didn't get around to doing that partially is I was like, oh, if we do this, then VMO will be different, and I will have to test it. And so divergences and managing these two things are just difficult, but I'll keep cracking away at it.
Okay.
All right. And we're at 30 minutes, so roughly, we're at 31 past, but we didn't start on time. So
Yeah.
still enough of the airwaves, probably.
Anybody have anything else? Otherwise, I think we're done.
Yep.
Our next meeting will be in May, on May 1st, actually.
May Day. This is May Day, right?
1st of May is a Wednesday. Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah, well,
I'll see you all then. And
Yep.
hopefully I don't have the sniffles at that point.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
you have a good month. See you all next time.
Bye.